Greetings to everyone. I'm your very own lovely Jisnoor Kaur here with a special edition of Cues of the Q card of IELTS. Now, the one and only person who I trust to answer these specific questions, which have been niggling me for a long while, is Mr. Deepak Shetty. And today we have gotten a chance to get him with us, not only for today, but for future sessions as well. Let me introduce you to him. This is Mr. Deepak Shetty, the director of White Feathers and creator of an amazing book. Greetings, sir. We're very lucky to have you here.
Same here, ma'am. Same here. In fact, I'm feeling so blessed that I got a chance again to talk to you right now.
Truly, the pleasure is only mine. Now, since we know that time is a very precious thing, let us move on quickly and move on to our task for today.
Yes.
So your first cue is, I believe that many people are not sure that what essentially is IELTS. People think this is a test, this is an examination. Essentially, what is it at its core?
Basically, this is a very intellectual question, and a lot of students who have experience about IELTS, they know well, but plenty of people, they do not have idea about what is IELTS all about that. First of all, I would like to talk about, it's not IELTS, it's not else, not IELTS, like so many people speak in different places. It is basically IELTS test. Its full form is International English Language Testing System. When I talk about system, it means that there is a process, there is a structure, there is a format of this test.
Okay.
When we talk about the format structure, in this particular test, we have 4 parameters. Reading, writing, listening and speaking. In 4 of the parameters, different countries, they have set their parameters for the admission in abroad study. And even that for the work permit, they are different structure. But basically, when we talk about this particular test, it is a test of pure English language and which has no essential background of Cambridge, Australian universities which are making tests. It is a local and common test which is made for the students and for the people who are looking for a work in abroad.
So now that we know this is essentially a testing system, something is that people are very curious about any testing system is how they are scored. So sir, can you give us a little bit insight on how this particular testing system is scored?
This test system basically a very professional system, and in this test system there are different categories. For example, reading, writing, listening and speaking. So all the categories are scored in different way. For example, if I talk about speaking module, we are scored on the basis of our presentation, our intonation, our stress, our accentuation, even that sometimes how we are delivering our ideas and thoughts. So if I talk about the scoring card, we have a band system in that way. So the division of band is according to your presentation speaking test. Same in reading, we have 40 questions, and according to the correct questions, we are going to get the bands. For example, we have 40 questions, we have to make out around about 26 carat to score 6.5 bands nearby. So according to the scoring, we have to convert that score into the bands. But in writing system, the parameters are entirely different. And in listening, again, we have 40 total marks, and out of 40 marks, we have to score according to the categories.
Okay, right. So this system of scoring students on basis of bands is certainly interesting. Now, something rings a bell. I have seen many a times of people on social media or other media forms where high scoring test takers say that we can achieve high bands without preparation. Is such a thing possible?
This is a very scintillating question you have asked me, because I feel personally that it depends on case to case. For example, if I'm talking about some person who is having a very good knack about English language, who is having dexterity, for him it is easy to perform the test because this test is based on English. If since childhood time you have been practicing English, so it will be easy for you.
Yes.
It depends on your hobby basically about this test. But again, the biggest question is all about that. Though you know English language well, but for the format and structured practice, you need to spend around about 15 days at least to understand the pattern of examination. Otherwise, those people who have scored 2 good bands like 8 bands or 9, if they have said so on social media, they can be correct. But again, somebody saying that without preparation I went for the test and I scored 8 bands, no, there are some lies behind that. And for the common students, they have to practice around about 2 to 3 months, unless until they have a knack in English language. It's all about the ability what you are utilizing. So it varies from case to case or candidate to candidate.
Okay, that's nice. So now that we have an understanding that preparation is a must, whether you do it secretly or in open, we have to see where we should prepare. Now I understand that there are several hundreds of institutions popping up all around, especially in India, which claim to guide students in the right way to answer this test. So how, according to you, should students select this institution suitable for them?
For this particular question, I would say that it's a really hard-going task because you cannot understand each and every person through the first conversation what you're going to make.
That's true.
Same as you cannot make your friend in a day too. So again, choosing institution is very difficult task because sometimes it happens that whenever you go there, they greet you so well and they have some people in the reception area, they speak too good English language. But once you pay your fees and you enter into their training, then you come to know about the truth. That they don't have good trainers. But if you talk about my experience, I would say only one thing, that if you are going to any institute for taking admission, at least you take someone who knows English well.
Okay.
Even that the person should have experience about IELTS test.
Okay.
So after conversation, the person can guide you better that this institution is good or not. And the key factor is, if the person is going there, he or she should try to meet the trainer of the institution, and even that talk to the students who are coming in different zones. For example, morning, afternoon, evening. So they can get some kind of feedback from the existing students who are studying at that particular institution.
Right.
But meeting trainer is the key factor because knowledge can be apart from those only who are expertise in that one.
That's true.
After all, it's your future, you cannot compromise.
Never, truer words were never said. So now we have an overall view, an idea of how to approach this testing system. What certainly I am peculiarly curious about is many students have various ways to approach this. Some enter institutions having already filled out their examinations, so that it may even inspire the institution to teach them better, or that they just believe that much in themselves or the institution. While some think that it's always better to fill out your examination dating after you are totally very certain in your standing, after the, we can say, recommendation of their tutors. What are your views on this particular piece of cake?
Okay. I would say that filling examination, it's individual choice. We cannot compel anybody that, okay, this is the date you have to fill the test and you're clear with that. Because this is an IELTS test.
Sure.
Basically, it's not only about training, it's all about your confidence and your psychology.
Right.
If you have no stress and mentally you are balanced, so you can fill up the paper.
Okay.
Sometimes it happens that when you get the training for the longevity, for the long time, you lose your confidence, you lose your that kind of passion which is required. So it is very difficult to say what time you have to go for the examination. But if I talk about my experience, definitely whenever you fill up your paper, you have to see certain things into your survey. For example, what kind of questions are coming, what kind of examination are being set, and most important thing, what we have to talk about that, which month you're going for a paper. That's more important. For example, December, January, February. At that moment, sometimes you get a new paper. They can be tough for you. Sometimes May, June, July, it can be easy for you. But again, it is very tough to say which date you can fill up for the examination. But always survey and feedback. These two things are very much important.
Nice. That's quite insightful. So now that we have an overall idea about everything regarding before we start our preparation on full throttle, another thing I'm curious about really is that are there any particular patterns to follow to be successful in your preparation? If so, what are they?
It is very, very, very interesting question. I could say that because this question is very, very good. Whenever we talk about the pattern we need to follow to score well in IELTS test or to prepare IELTS test, I would say that first thing we have to change our mindset. I'm talking about that we should understand that this English test. So first of all thing is we have to change the routine. We have to include English language in our routine system. For example, we have to read newspaper every morning. We start reading novels. We start watching English movies. We start meeting people who know English language. And we should accept that English is my primary or the first language. If I'm preparing for IELTS test, I'm not changing myself from inside. I'm going to institute every day but not doing that kind of extra work which is required and needed. So ultimately my maths will not be improved. Because ultimately I did not read English since my childhood time, and all of a sudden within 2 months I'm going to score. It is highly impossible till you will not change your routine activity. So you have to change your friend circle, social circle, routine, and you have to include new activities replacing old one. Otherwise it is difficult task to attain, because institution you can understand the structure, format, test system, but studying there for 4 hours, 2 hours, 6 hours will do nothing till the time you will not accept that English is now my primary language and I have to change my routine.
Alright.
That's the thing which we require to change our math scores.
That was very, we can say, peculiar in a way for someone who doesn't have general knowledge about this. Now, I think it's time for you to have a break and have some tea.
Yeah, definitely. Why not? I'm doing that and I
Today
tea from
has
white feathers.
been a very, lovely man.
Yeah.
Today has been an interesting day of listening to cue cards from our very own sir. So now let us meet again soon with our next set of questions so that we may thirst our curiosities. That is all for today. Have a pleasant day and please don't forget to subscribe.